Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And for you guys, this is the final episode of the Mandalorian Season 2 before we go on to Season 3 and all that. So I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion and my thoughts, just like I always do. Now this is going to be a spoiler review. This is probably the most spoilerific episode yet, besides Boba Fett coming back and Ahsoka Tano and Bo-Katan. There's a lot of spoilers in the show, in the season. Overall, let me just get this out of the way. Season 2, I think, is like 5 times better than 1. My only issue with Season 1 is that it felt too slow. But this one, there's a little bit of a slowness to it, but it picks up a little bit. And I know why it's slow. It's like Deathly Hallows Part 1, Fantastic Beasts 2, that kind of thing. But I do think Season 2 is better overall. Now, getting forward with the spoilers already, essentially what happens is, Moff Gideon and the Empire has Grogu in captivity, and Bo-Katan and Fennec and that other Mandalorian girl who's with Bo-Katan, and of course Mandalorian, Boba Fett, if I didn't say him, the whole gang, Cara Dune, they're all, trying to rescue Grogu and the Empire, and, it's really cool. We've been building up to this for a week. It's really, really ambitious, and, lots of crazy stuff happens. A lot of the Dark Troopers, which is really cool. They were in previous episodes where they actually kidnapped Grogu. They're back and they're really menacing. They're really, they kind of, they're like droids, so they power up and they get all ready and they're kind of, you can tell they're CGI, of course, but when they punch the doors, it looks really menacing, so they do a lot of good job building up the, tension. And let me just get this out of the way again. Disney is just king of Star Wars, you know what I mean? I love the prequels and I love the originals and all that, but as soon as Disney took over with, all these new shows, the sequel trilogy, they just friggin' killed it, man. They killed it. And they're killing it again with this episode. There's a lot of great action scenes between Din Djarin and the Mandalorian and Moff Gideon with the Darksaber and his Beskar spear. Really well choreographed, just like everything really in Star Wars for the most part. Really good, combat, and it was a lot of excitement. I was sitting in my chair and I'm basically shaking because I'm so excited, what's going to happen. And, of course, the Dark Troopers are attacking. Cara Dune's blaster kind of gets jammed. She's like, "Dang, Bear!" She's getting all pissed. It's kind of funny. Great action across the board. Good acting, great CGI, all that stuff. I didn't really have my only main issue with the CGI is when Moff Gideon kind of the Dark Trooper kind of kicks Din or zaps him or something, and he goes kind of skidding across the floor. You can tell he's rubbery and very CGI looking. Not too bad, maybe half a negative. Nothing too bad there. But it was noticeable in just that one scene. The Dark Troopers are of course CGI because you can't make a practical, like Grogu can be practical when he's not moving or where they're not really interacting with him too much. But whenever you picking up Grogu, the child, he does kind of get CGI, and that's perfect, But the Dark Troopers kind of look CGI, but duh, you can't practically make a trooper like that move and act that way, so it's fine. But of course, they're getting out maneuvering, they're like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And an X-Wing shows up, and sadly, because motherfudging F me, I went on Twitter this morning. I usually watch these in the evening with my mom and dad, together. And, I go on Twitter to check Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga or Watch Dogs Legion or Black Ops Cold War, and lo and behold, you could go on the internet and check your goddamn, I don't know, your freaking Facebook status, whatever. Whatever you want to do, you want to pay bills, whatever. You're going to get trapped, You want to go check into Tri-C's database or, whatever. You're going to get screwed, you know what I mean? I go on chuckycheese.com, and there's freaking Star Wars The Mandalorian spoilers, so sadly, I did get spoiled, kind of badly, actually. I'm kind of freaking pissed about it. I wasn't that mad because I know it was, I was going to see it like six hours later. And I was right. In the X-Wing, R2-D2, very cool. Luke motherfudging Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars character of all time. And I have a bunch of good I think every Star Wars character is good except for Admiral Ackbar, but whatever. I love Rose, I love Paige, I love Phasma, I love Hux. Everyone from the sequels is great. Originals, prequels for the most part, everything's great. But Luke is my favorite. Luke in the originals is an amazing character. He goes through such a growth. And to see him in this after Return of the Jedi, after Episode 6, before the sequels, I believe this is before he starts the training, new Jedi Temple, it was just awesome, you know what I mean? And I think Luke in the sequels is fantastic. Luke in The Last Jedi is why he's my favorite character of all time. I love Luke in the originals, and I love him in this episode, but him in The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker and The Force Awakens is why Luke is my favorite. I will battle you to the death. Luke Skywalker was 100% in character in The Last Jedi. That is an objective fact. And to see him in this again, it was awesome. You know what I mean? Seeing the old Luke, you know, people go, oh, it's Luke before he turns crusty and really, really old and negative. There's a reason why. You know what I mean? There's a narrative reason why Luke in Return of the Jedi throws away his lightsaber. There's a narrative reason why Luke comes in this episode, and there's a narrative reason why in The Last Jedi he tosses it behind his shoulder. Everything Luke does has purpose. Now, another kind of factor I want to say is Luke Skywalker was never good with a lightsaber. He's not as good as Anakin Skywalker at all, or anyone from the prequels. You know, the prequels were the Jedi at their best, and the originals were kind of the fall of them, and the sequels were the rise of them. So, to have, you know, Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine, she's good with a lightsaber, you know, but for The Force Awakens and Last Jedi, she's kind of just flopping this thing around. But Rise of Skywalker, she's more skilled with it, you know. Episode 4, A New Hope, Luke doesn't really use a lightsaber. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, he uses his blue lightsaber, but he sucks at it. He gets beat up, crap up. You know, he's not good at all. He's like Rey in the first 2 movies. And then, you know, Return of the Jedi, he really isn't that good either. I mean, the only, yeah, you know, during the skiff battle, he, you know, doing this with a lightsaber, a downward stroke, and maybe a blaster bolt block, that's not good. That's just him being a Jedi, you know what I mean? So that's not like Anakin either. And the final battle between Luke and Vader in Death Star 2 is a great scene, shot really well. But again, Luke, for the most part, is flopping around like an idiot, you know. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's getting pissed a lot. You know, he's whacking his dad's hand off. It's just, you know, it's a whole thing. So to see Luke in The Mandalorian actually take out the Dark Troopers in a really badass manner, like the prequels, like, you know, what Anakin or Obi-Wan would do, or even Ahsoka, you know, seeing him do the, you know, you know, I can't do it, but it was just awesome, you know what I mean? It was really cool to see him do the back move and the, you know, slicing them up and blocking the things. It was really, really awesome to see that. And it's cool, you know, because I don't know how many years this show takes place after the actual episode 6, but to see a growth of this, you know, of his character's actions, so to speak. You know, like I said, originals, he's not good in the entire trilogy at all. Form-wise, stance-wise, he's really just kind of flopping around and getting lucky. In, you know, this episode, he knows what he's doing. So this is a considerable amount after episode 6. Remember, in 6, he throws away the lightsaber and the Death Star 2 blows up. So either he force grabs the lightsaber and puts it in his pocket before he leaves, or he builds a new lightsaber. If you know, in canon, tell me in the comments, because I want to freaking know. But anyway, Luke has his his green lightsaber back. Bunch of cool stuff happens, you know, and I'm assuming we do know that in the sequels when you know, Luke and Ben have their fallout in the hut thing, he does have his green saber, and in the sequels he has the blue, which of course is Anakin's lightsaber from the prequels. So it's kind of, you know, what happened to the green one? You know, what happened to the green saber after the Death Star 2 blew up? What happened to the green one after Ben and you know, his fallout? We don't know. I don't think we know. But a lot of great stuff happens. You know, like I said, it's really cool to see him doing that. Again, considering the originals, he really wasn't good at using a lightsaber. This time, you can tell he's practiced. He's formidable. You know, all this stuff. And it was so freaking funny, man. Din's having a hard time with one of the Dark Troopers, and he comes along and just beats the schnoz out of him in, you know, 2.5 minutes. It's crazy. It was really cool. Sadly, I wish I wasn't spoiled beforehand. It was still just as epic as ever. Now, going on to the CGI, or the deep fake of Luke Skywalker, first and foremost, Luke Skywalker in this episode was voiced by Mark Hamill, which is funny, because he kind of sounds like he does in the original trilogy, but in the sequels, he sounds kind of like, you know, kind of like Joker and raspy, like Skips, you know, like, Mordecai, Raven, you know, it's kind of like that, and it's kind of funny to see, you know, him doing his younger self voice. But everyone online is going, oh my god, use Sebastian Stan! Use Sebastian! You know, the guy from the MCU, the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. And honestly, it could have worked. You know, I think Disney kind of dodged a bullet there, negatively. I think they probably should have taken that bullet, because, or blaster bolt, I guess, because Sebastian Stan does look like Luke, you know, for the most part. It's kind of weird. Just like that one hot girl from Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man movies, looks just like Ahsoka. Not Rosario, but whatever. I think the deepfake is good. I don't think it's perfect, but it's the best deepfake we've seen on a Star Wars character. Leia in Rogue One was good, but it wasn't, you know, you're only seeing her face for like 4 seconds, so it doesn't really matter, you know, it was good. Tarkin in Rogue One was really freaking good. That looked excellent. And then in this, it looked fantastic as well. You know, I could tell it was Luke from the original trilogy, or that era, before, of course, he looks older in the sequels, but, you know, there's a little bit of blurriness when his mouth moved, you know, that kind of thing. It's not perfect, It's not gonna be. You know, you can't get Mark Hamill to look younger. He's like almost 80 or something. You know, he can't do that. Kind of like Harrison Ford. You know, why they cast Alden whatever to play young Harrison Ford or young Han Solo in the movie Solo. You know, you could have just deep faked that too, but you know what I mean. So they have ways to do that, and I think Alden did a great job in Solo. Solo's a great film, but I think maybe choosing Sebastian Stan would have been better. But for what they used, I think that the deep fake looked good enough. You know, you don't really kind of avoid it. You know, there's a lot of shots where you go up, kind of like the Peanuts, where you just see his freaking neck below. You know, you see a lot of shots of R2 and Grogu talking. Kind of like with Carrie Fisher, you know, General Princess Leia in The Rise of Skywalker. You don't see her too much. She's either in a shadow or you know, you're seeing the back of her hair or something like that. And of course, that's because she sadly passed away. But you know, difference is the same. It kind of is that effect. You know, should they use deepfake? Should they cast another guy? And I think they did a good job here. You know, they did a good job. So yeah, I mean, really, you know, a little bit of CGI missteps here and there, but honestly, you know, you can look past that. You know what I mean? It's not an issue where you're like, oh my god, it's so bad. Like there's a thing in you know, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. If you haven't seen that, you go check it out for Harry Potter month. The American flag in the beginning kind of goes, kind of like glitches. You know, that's not bad either. But if you're looking for it, you notice it. You know what I mean? Just like the jeans guy in that one episode of the show. You know, it's the whole thing. But all in all, I think this does have one or two CGI mishaps, but I'm going to overlook that because, again, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Yes, they're negatives, but they're not negatives where I'm like, man, that looked really bad. I'm taken out of the experience, you know. I'm just like, oh, that's CGI, move on, you know. Oh, the Dark Trooper, that's CGI, move on. You know, Luke's face, CGI, move on. It's kind of like that. So I'm going to give this episode a perfect score. I think it was great. This was, I think, my favorite episode of Season 2. I can't wait for Season 3. Now, that moves me on to, I believe, this is actually the first end credit scene in any Star Wars movie or any Star Wars medium, from what I know, is, of course, now this is going to be kind of complicated, but in Return of the Jedi, Tatooine, you have Jabba the Hutt, who's ruling the Hutt clan, and then Princess Leia chokes him out and kills him, right? So now Bib Fortuna, the guy that says, "Do you wanna wanga?" You know, that dude, he takes the throne, and this dude is fat as fudge. I mean, he's not as fat as Jabba, but if you watch the originals, Bib, and then this episode of Bib Fortuna, Jesus Christ, it's like a dip, you know what I mean? It's like, what were you doing? You know, were you eating, like, how did Jabba get fat? You know what I mean? How did the Hutts get big? Did they just eat a lot? Is that what Bib's doing? I don't know. But he's really chunky for some reason. You know, whatever. But I just had to notice because I was like, wow, you know, you gained weight. I guess that's what happens when you just sit on your butt all day. But the point is that Fennec and Boba Fett show back up and kill him. They just effing kill him. And it's like, oh, bye, Bib. You know, see you later. And Boba Fett takes the throne, kind of like what Darth Maul did in Mandalore, where he sits on the throne, regal-like, and Fennec has a drink. It's a really epic shot, and then it says the Book of Boba Fett, December 2021. So yes, technically, the Book of Boba Fett, from what I know, is Season 3 of The Mandalorian. However, apparently it's a spin-off. I don't really know. No one really knows yet. It's called the Book of Boba Fett. Kind of a weird name. And it's showing up December 2021, so that's going to be technically Season 3, I believe. And then, you know, Luke takes Grogu. Din and Grogu say goodbye. I didn't cry. A lot of people have been crying. I feel like you know, it touched me. You know, I wasn't like, wow, this is boring. You know, it touched me, but I didn't cry. I was close, though, because, you know, you kind of build up these relationships. You know, seeing Din in Season 1 not want anything to do with Grogu, and then at the end, you know, saying, you know, he means more to me, you know, and then just risking his life. It's crazy stuff, you know, it's epic. But yeah, that's this episode. It was really great. I think action, Luke showing up was freaking nuts. I had a hunch either Luke or Ezra would show up, because really everyone else is dead. You know what I mean? At this time, you know, you're not going to see a Force Ghost pop up, I don't think. We do know in the sequels that Force Ghosts can interact with real-life objects through the Force. And that's, you know, that's the beauty of the Force, is that it's not confined to what happens. You know what I mean? In every movie, there's a new ability. You know, the Force isn't just a set of, you know, 5 things a Jedi can do, or a Sith can do. You know, it's not just like a list. It's infinite, you know. You can survive in space. You can become really quick. You can, you know, you can stop time. You can choke people. You can do whatever you want. You know, call lightning. It's crazy. It's insane. And, you know, the Force is very cool. And, you know, seeing Luke use this in a way was really awesome. I can't wait for the Book of Boba Fett. I think that's really cool. Really fitting, seeing as how Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine. And now he's kind of reclaiming his throne. Really great stuff. And, again, no spoilers in the comments section below, just in case they haven't seen it yet. And, yeah, tell me what you think if you can not spoil it in the comments. And yeah, this was great, man. I can't wait for Season 3, The Book of Boba Fett, whatever the fudge they want to call this. Really great end of the season. I really freaking liked it. And, you know, maybe my theory, I don't go off of theories, but my theory is that Luke is going to take Grogu to the Jedi Temple, and maybe Ben Solo is going to kill him. Who knows? You know, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm assuming Din and Grogu are going to show their faces again, but we'll have to see what happens. I enjoyed it. So again, tell me what your thoughts in the comments without spoiling it. If you can, if you can't, just don't comment anything. Again, great episode. You guys know, there's a whole discourse online of, oh, Luke should have been like that in the sequels. Now, everything has its reasons. Everything is perfect. All Star Wars is good. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.